Tuck's dead, just me and you.
Mm-hmm. Just us today, because he hates us. And he hates America?
And you, the listener. Most of all, he hates you.
Most of all, you. Most of all, your grandma.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
All right, well, time to open the show.
All wings report in.
HouseDog, standing by.
MotherGoose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck, standing by.
Lock S foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Animal Squadron podcast. Today I'm here with the original other co-host of this show, MotherGoose. We finally got rid of Stinky Tuck once and for all.
What's up, everybody?
You're a thirsty little boy, aren't you?
Dude, I'm so thirsty. I woke up with such a bad headache from my nap.
I woke up today too from sleeping, and I had a bad headache, and I was so thirsty. And once I finally drank water, I was like, this is the best water I've ever had.
This is the best day of my life. Give me more of that.
And then I realized I was awake, and it was the worst.
Yeah. I've been up for about 40 minutes and have already drank about 40 ounces of water, maybe.
That's good. You're a hydrated boy.
Hydrate or dihydrate?
That's right.
Well, today we're talking about The Mandalorian, season 2, episode 7.
8, 7. It's 7.
7.
You're right.
It's
You're
7.
right.
Yeah.
Chapter 15, The Believer. I'm going to be real
Believer.
honest. Whenever you
Thank
sent
you.
me this, I was like, are we still in season 1? Like, it's been so long since we've continued this little covering of Mando.
Mandalorian. Yeah, last Mandalorian episode we did, I think, was 105. And this is, I think, episode 137 or 138. So it's been a hot minute.
And if you're wondering why we're doing Mandalorian today, it's because Tuck couldn't make it, so...
Yes, which I know with season 1 of Andor, we just kind of covered whoever was here. But saying these boys haven't seen season 2, and season 2 is so amazing, I didn't want either of them to miss any. So any week that one of them isn't here, we're going to try and catch up with Mandalorian if we can.
Yeah, we'll be back to Andor next week.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Either that or it's back to Mando for a while.
Yeah, remember at the beginning of the year when I was like, hey, maybe we can get through Mandalorian this year. And now we're into late August, and I think this is our first Mandalorian episode of the entire year.
Hey, Mando is the gift that keeps on giving. Anytime we need something, somebody's out of town, somebody can't make it or whatever, you go to the Mandalorian chest. There's always more.
There's always more. And also, this episode was so good.
I know. That's what I was about to say. I was like, I forgot what episode this was, and then I looked it up to watch it today, and I was like, I can't believe this is the one we're covering. Like, this is one of my favorites of season 2. I think of the series, honestly. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, definitely top 5, if not top 3 episodes for me.
Mm-hmm. It's one of my tops as well. And so good. I also love Bill Burr, who plays Mayfield.
Yeah.
I always thought he does great in TV shows, because I don't think you ever watched Breaking Bad, did you?
No,
One of my other favorite TV shows of all time. He also plays a side character in there, and I just think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
And I loved him in this.
Something else I really enjoyed about this episode is with Andor, it's really nice jumping around between 3-4 different plots every episode. But also sometimes it's kind of nice just to follow one plot.
I agree. And something that hadn't quite struck me since we've been in Andor for so long, it feels like, which isn't a bad thing. I've had a lot of fun with Andor, and I'm glad we're working through that series. It never quite hit me how, like, I don't want to say dark. I think the correct adjective would be heavy. How heavy that show is compared to this. And there's some heavy moments in this episode as well. But Mandalorian overall just feels so much brighter and more, I don't want to say life either, because Andor has a lot of life in it as well. It's just such a dark period of time.
Right.
And it just feels like kind of depressing as compared to like Mando. I'm like, oh, we're going on an adventure. This is so much fun. Even though in this episode, terrible things have just happened in the previous episode.
Right. And you're right on the money with the period of time, because in Mandalorian here, the Empire has fallen. Sure, there are remnants that are trying to fight back, but they have fallen. The New Republic is in control. The good guys won. In Andor, it's the height of the Empire's power before the rebellion really kicks into full swing.
I think there's just more levity in Mando. So I think this week was a good time to revisit this series, because it made me realize there's a lot about Andor that I had never thought about before. And just being in that series as long as we have been now, there's so much more levity in Mandalorian as compared to Andor.
Right. It's nice to see that contrast.
Back to Mando, though. I really enjoy this opening because it just reminded me, seeing the scrap field that Mayfield is working on, it reminded me of elements of Clone Wars, like seeing junkyards there, elements of Jedi Fallen Order, how we pick up in the first game with Cal Kestis, and he's working in a similar planet where they're scrapping Republic stuff, and now here we are in Mando in the New Republic era, and we're scrapping, TIE fighters and ATSTs and AT-ATs, and it just, I love when Star Wars does Star Wars, and it does the poetry thing. It always, there's, waves throughout the eras, but they're also the same galaxy, and just because it's AT-ATs and TIE fighters in a scrapyard today, it could be New Republic X-Wings tomorrow.
Right. Specifically with Clone Wars, it reminded me a lot of the trash planet that Savage found Maul on, which obviously this planet was a lot brighter, but, it had those droids kind of walking around the scrap field, which reminded me of, I think they were called the Firewalkers.
I don't remember what those little guys were called. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're like little imps. And they get murked.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the giant ones.
Oh, the trash eaters.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the little guys that like Maul just completely destroys.
Yeah. Also, that droid looked like it may have been a repurposed K2 droid.
I think they were a bit too small for that. I think these are specific, like new. Oh, I can see in the legs. Yeah. But I think all security droids just kind of have that build, because that's also the thing about Star Wars is these companies produce for both sides.
Right. They just need a paycheck. That's all they care about.
Exactly. The robo parts all come from the same manufacturer. So maybe they were K2 droids repurposed.
Yeah. Or maybe a K2-like droid, like maybe a K3. Maybe the Empire had a K3 prototype that they repurposed to guard New Republic prisons. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, they're all security droids at the end of the day.
I also really liked just how shocked, what was his name? Mayfield, right? Was when Dune came to get him. Just, what's happening? Why are you here? Why am I being let go? And, the confusion, you could tell he freezes a bit until the droid turns on his shocker.
And I'm trying to think. They've never met before, right? Kara and Mayfield?
I don't
This is the first time they've met because he got captured.
So Mando trapped him
on
that prison
prison
when they did
ship,
the break.
Yeah.
and I don't believe she was part of the team that went to go secure the prison after it went dark.
Yeah.
I think those were just random New Republic soldiers or guards.
How do you feel about, well, two things. I thought you were the other guy line, and is this the first time we see Boba's new armor, or does he show it off in the last episode where Grogu gets kidnapped? I can't remember if it's repainted by then.
Ooh, he definitely has the armor on in that episode. I'm not sure if it's repainted.
But it hasn't been repainted yet because he just lost the Razor Crest. He went there for the armor. Yeah, so this is the first look at the reskinned Boba armor.
Which, I know this may be an unpopular opinion, but this is a so much better looking paint job than the original armor.
Really?
I mean, the green and white is good, but the green and black just looks so much better, in my opinion.
I'm not a huge fan of the matte finish, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know.
Needs to get a little dirty.
I'm not
grungy
opposed
from work
to the clean armor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about the matte finish.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because maybe one of the reasons they did it was because Mando's so bright, because his is all just straight metallic metal,
Yeah.
There's no coloring to his armor anymore, as opposed to in season 1, whenever he did have a few bits of colored armor.
Like brown. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. It does make a nice contrast between them. Probably makes it easier in those quick shots to tell who's who.
Right.
Back to your first point, though, I thought you were this other guy. Such a great line. One of my favorite lines in the entire series.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why I like Bill Burr. I think, honestly, coming from any other actor, that line might have been a little bit cringy, but he plays Mayfield so well that I like it coming from him, because the line in and of itself is a very Star Wars line.
Yeah.
It's very
100%.
much Star Wars dialogue.
Yeah.
Where it's comical on the nose, but also makes you think a little bit. It gives you a little bit of character insight of he still does fear Mando, because last time he saw him, he betrayed him.
Right. And Mando ended up putting his entire team in prison, right?
Most of them, the ones that weren't killed.
Yeah.
We also get to see how Slave One works from the inside of the ship, how it spins on the inside whenever it goes vertical.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, we got to see a little bit of that in Attack of the Clones, right?
Not from, like, this little cargo seating area.
Gotcha.
I mean, we see how the ship, like, turns on an axis to go vertical, but not, like, how it works on the inside. Because everybody always wondered.
Yeah.
Because, like, whenever it's flat and sitting on the ground, you're looking up through the windscreen like you're on your back. And then once it goes into a vertical orientation, you're vertical as well.
Right.
I don't know. Just a thing.
Yeah, no, a really nice detail. So they've built this little team. They need to go break into an Imperial facility to get Moff Gideon's location.
Mining Rhydonium,
which is a fuel for a lot of their spaceships, but is highly explosive.
Indeed it is, sir.
I really like how Rhydonium, obviously it's just fuel, right? It's not that important, but it stays pretty consistent. We hear about Rhydonium quite a few times throughout the franchise.
Mm-hmm. Especially Clone Wars, Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
I think where Kanan blows up is a Rhydonium.
I would not be surprised.
Basically like a fuel center for all the Imperial vehicles on Lothal whenever he dies. Pretty sure that's what takes him out.
So they go to the planet. Do you have anything else before they get there?
No, good to go.
So they've got this giant facility. They can't just attack it. So they decide to sneak in by taking over a transport.
Another great line, though, before they take over the transport and they're trying to work out who's going to accompany Mayfeld. and they're trying to figure out, okay, well, Kara's like, I'll go, it'll be fine. He's like, if you're in Imperial records or New Republic records, like, you'll show up, like, you'll be flagged. And he's like, okay, Fennec, you'll go. And Fennec's like, I'm wanted by the ISB, I can't go in there. He's like, Fett, what about you? He's like, let's just say they'll recognize my face. I love that.
Yeah. Such a
Love
good
that.
line. Because
But will they, though? I feel like enough time has passed where people don't really think about clones anymore during this time.
that is a good point. But they would definitely still have it in their records, right?
Yeah, I feel like.
'Cause it
Imperial
has
records, at
been-
least.
Let's see. The season 1 is 9 ABY. So at least 28 years, maybe 29 or 30. I can't remember exactly the time frame between season 1 and season 2.
Yeah, definitely. If there's one thing the Imperials do, it's keep records.
Well, they capture the transport, which I don't think they were the same one, but it reminded me a lot of the transport the Bad Batch had to take when they had to go get that governor prisoner. I think that was in
Yeah.
season 3.
Very, very similar. I hadn't thought about that until now. Which is, of course, reminiscent of the troop transport from episode 3. In a way. These armored
Yeah.
transports that they use.
A very similar design. You can see how the Empire's tech has kind of progressed over the years.
Which always makes me happy to see.
I was surprised there was only 2 guards on this super important shipment.
Well, but I feel like that gets answered later with the Imperial officer during that scene.
Remind me what he says.
So they're talking, and he mentions that they're the only transport that made it back.
Right.
But he doesn't make it sound like a surprise the way he delivers that line. It makes it sound like it's a regular occurrence on this planet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think that's why there's only 2. Is because not many of them do make it back.
Well, when you're transporting Rhydonium, right?
You know, I remember whenever you and I did it for those couple years.
Yeah, and our buddy Schmelk, who went a little too fast one day.
Blew up right there in the road.
You know, it's crazy. We could add a 4th host and,
Now he's
just
dead.
one speed bump completely changed the course of history.
This episode, the lines, like, there were just so many good quotable lines while they're transporting the Rhydonium in the beginning
Yes.
from Mayfield. Oh, what does he say? There's the "you people" line, but he says something right before it too. Oh, he mentions, of course, Mando can't take off the helmet that he's wearing because Mando. But Mayfield, he's like, I'm taking this thing off. I can't see anything out of it.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, call back to, I believe it's episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4, Rebels has also
Yeah, done it.
made that. I think Andor... when he stole the TIE Avenger, did he make a comment about it? I can't remember.
I can't tell you, and we've watched that recently.
But, people joke about stormtroopers having bad aim, and that became a in-universe running joke as well. Yeah, and then he calls out Mando. He says, just talking about the helmets, is it that you can't take your helmet off or you can't show your face? What really is the rule?
So many good lines.
He also talks about that everyone's really the same. The Mandalorians, the New Republic, the Empire, they're all just rulers. They're all conquerors of the galaxy.
Everybody's got to sleep at night. I loved getting more of Mayfeld's backstory in this episode as well, because in the prison ship episode, all we really knew about Mayfield was that he was the old Imperial sniper that defected.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he was a sniper.
Which comes
makes
into
sense
play
for later. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this episode, you get so much more of his backstory with him sharing with Mando just in this short little ride that they have about how, everything's the same.
Yeah.
This planet's no different than any of the others. Doesn't matter who's in charge. Somebody's going to be in charge.
Right.
Somebody's going to be in charge, and they're going to need the resources.
Yeah.
Which just goes back to... I can't wait until we get to that part of the episode with the Imperial officer. Such a good part.
So as they're riding, they do get attacked by... They refer to them as pirates, but these kind of came across more like planetary rebels to me.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. During their ride, they're talking. He's like, Mandalore's no different than the Empire in a way. And then he's like, do you think some of the Mandalorians had a choice during their war? And then he brings up Alderaan as well. He's like, what's the same between Alderaan and Mandalore? Neither one of them exist anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry. That was such a good part.
He's not wrong, but also really ballsy to say to a Mandalorian.
I thought so as well. I was like, he's just laying it all out there.
100%. So yeah, they get attacked, and I don't know, it's just, I feel like pirates, wouldn't they be more trying to steal the Rhydonium instead of blowing the cargo transports up?
So I think that was a Empireism to call them pirates. I think you were right with your initial assessment of they seem more like
rebels.
Not necessarily rebels. I think they're just natives of this planet, and they're tired of their planet being controlled. So if they think if they can blow up enough transports, the Empire will leave, which we all know isn't true. The Empire will just keep sending more bodies. They don't care.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the native people just blow them up. Oh, Mando calls them pirates. I was wrong.
Yeah. No, that's okay. But I mean, also Mando doesn't have the context of what's happening on the planet too, so
they're also subtitled as pirates. So I don't know. But they came off to me more like natives instead of pirates, because they do just immediately try to blow it up. Like they're not capturing the Rhydonium or anything.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't know.
Well, some ties come and save them, and they make it to the facility, and people are really excited to see them. And I think your earlier statement was correct about this being a regular occurrence, because my first thought when seeing this was like, man, these guys are just so excited to get their gas. They sure love their gas.
These guys love Rhydonium. No, one thing I love about that moment, though, of where the ties come in and save them, I think this is one of the only instances in Star Wars where you kind of root for the Empire for a second.
Oh, because they're coming to save Mando.
Yeah, it makes you feel weird because you're not supposed to like them at all, but that moment where the ties fly in and save them is just so badass.
Yeah, and there's that little bit of hope, like, oh, maybe the hero's not gonna die in a gas explosion.
Maybe so, yeah. Which I think was just really good writing and directing.
Yeah. I agree.
Because if you're able to make someone root for the bad guys when they're not supposed to, I think you're doing something really special. And I think it means you're telling a really good story. Because we have no reason to root for the Empire, especially after last episode and coming into this one. But that moment does it, and then everyone's excited that they're there, like you were saying, and it's a big deal. Like they come in as like heroes that they got this shipment there.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a really interesting moment just for myself and how that scene made me feel.
For sure. Well, they go in, and I was cooking dinner at the time, so Mayfield, something happened, and he couldn't go get the info. Mando had to do it, but I missed what that was.
It was because he spotted his old, commanding officer.
Okay, the guy that they go have a drink with?
Yeah. They're
gotcha.
walking to where the computer thing is, and that's when Mayfield spots him, and he's like, I can't go in there. Amanda's like, we need this information. He's like, it's got to scan your face. He's like, just give me the key.
Mm-hmm. And Mando, for the second time, takes his helmet off, which I know he takes his helmet off at the like farm village. I think it's season 1 that he goes to protect, but no one's around. We never see his face, but this time lots of people are around.
Indeed they are. But didn't he take his helmet off at the end of the first season?
Oh yeah, in front of IG.
Everyone? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm thinking at the end of this season. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So he did take his helmet off in front of someone, but IG, I think it's 11, right? Or is it 88? I can't remember which one's in Mando.
11.
Okay. IG-11's like, well, I'm not a person, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's all good as he's burning to death.
Yeah, so I think this is technically the third time he's taken his helmet off, second time we've seen his face, first time anyone's actually seen his face, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which just goes to show how much he cares about Grogu, because he could have just left. He could have just said, sorry, can't take my mask off. See you later.
Yeah, obviously that's why him and Mayfield have the whole conversation about the helmet, and the importance of the helmet is put on in the beginning of this episode and everything like that.
Right, to remind
so
the
it makes
audience
this
of
moment,
the creed.
Yeah. It makes this moment really impactful. What'd you think about it?
I agree. It's very impactful. I thought it was really funny kind of watching Mando struggle with the computer.
You just wanted to know how to use Imperial computers.
Is giving very boomer dad doesn't know how to change the input. How do I get to Netflix?
It used to be so easy. Now I gotta click all these buttons. In my day, there were 3 channels.
Yeah. But no, I liked it, and I like how it played into the Imperial officer kind of maybe getting a little suspicious. Why is he taking so long?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's kind of one of the things that I initially loved so much about Mando. Like, we all knew Pedro Pascal was voicing him, but most of the on-screen acting was done by 2 separate people, depending on what was going on in the scene, which we've talked about many times before, anytime we've covered Mando. But that's what I really loved about season 1. You know, not the 99% of it is never seeing who the Mandalorian was, even though we know what Pedro Pascal looks like and everything like that.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts of it, was the mystery of who it was. And I know I've said that before in old episodes, but I still bring it up because I don't know. And I understand like the episode wouldn't have worked if he couldn't take off his helmet, but I feel like every time we do, it kind of takes away that mystery. And I understand the story has to evolve and characters have to change and grow and everything like that, but I kind of just hate it whenever he takes off the helmet.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. They do so good at portraying emotion from underneath the helmet.
Mm-hmm. Which I think was one of our like very first things we ever said about Mando.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I agree. If you can make a story stand on its own or a character stand on its own without ever seeing their face, you've got something special.
For sure. For sure. So this Imperial officer comes and he's, you know, trying to figure out who Mando is. And
what's your designator?
Mayfield...
Transport pilot.
Transport pilot. We get the TK mention. What's your TK number?
Mm-hmm.
And then Mayfield comes in and saves the day with the, sorry, Captain. He's deaf and dumb.
This is Lenny.
Don't give him any mice.
Or puppies. Or women. He'll kill them all.
He won't mean to, sir.
It's all an accident. We just call him Brown Eyes.
I think Din did a really good job because it is so nice actually getting to see his face because he just looks so confused the whole time, which really sells it.
Yes, that whole interaction was just so good. Of him having, because he can pretend to be silent and dumb. He's silent half the time.
Yeah. Just gotta cover the dumb part.
So him just standing there, just blank faced the entire conversation while Mayfield tries to work him out of it, I think is perfect.
I agree.
And then the tension that they build in this, like short little amount of time, is perfect. Of where the officer's suspicious and then he's like, let's go get a drink. You guys are like the only transport that's come back.
Empire heroes.
They're all for the glory of the Empire.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for this is the captain is talking about how people want control, blah, blah, blah. And no, I actually think the control is after. Mayfield offers to toast for Project Cinder.
Operation Cinder. Big deal.
Big deal, which is from, I think it started in the new Battlefront 2, and I think it's then showed up in several novels as well. Remind me or correct me if I'm wrong, Operation Cinder was these devices that the Empire had set up that would float in the upper atmosphere and would like send these rays down, which would create a severe weather storm that was capable of destroying cities.
It was one of the protocols that the Emperor had in place if he ever died, to basically just raise major cities on planets and such. It started with, I think, like those death rays, and then of course a troop follow-up where they just kind of decimated everything, so that way it would give the Empire time to rebound from the Empire's death, give them a little bit of time to recover, and give the rebellion in the New Republic more work. Because it doesn't matter for the Empire, they'll just enslave people again.
Right. They just need to keep the rebels controlled for a moment.
Right, and not give them as many resources as they can.
Right. Which obviously it's not a planet-destroying weapon, but it is another doomsday device in the Empire's tool belt.
Makes you wonder what else what all the Emperor had planned, really.
I really like the conversation that's had here, because this captain is obviously very pro Operation Cinder, and Mayfield is very obviously anti. He's against it. He hates what happened. He hates what happened to his platoon. But the captain's just so engulfed with his own arrogance and love for the Empire. He can't even really see how upset Mayfield is. Because why would he be? Because it's all for the glory of the Empire, right?
I love the way this scene builds, too, of where you can just see Mayfield getting more and more upset as their conversation goes by. And you can tell, like, he's trying to hold it all in until the very moment where he just shoots the guy. And the other part that I think really sells the scene is the look on Mayfield's face right after he does it, where he, like, it's almost like he doesn't believe what he did.
Yeah.
Where, like, it caught him off guard as well, and he's the one who did it.
Yeah, and it's not even him. The other stormtroopers in the room are just as shocked.
I think that's what really sold it for me, was that moment where he looks surprised of his own actions. I think if not for that, I still think it would have been an incredible scene, very powerful, but I think that's what made it one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just a moment, and then chaos breaks loose as he takes out another one, and I think he clears out the entire room. Does Mando get any of the stormtroopers here?
He takes out like
maybe
one or two.
Yeah. One of my favorite lines of the episode, though, is after this happens, he said something along the lines of, "You had to do what you had to do. I had to do what I had to do." And then he hands him his helmet and says, "I never saw your face."
I love that part as well, and I'm glad you remembered it because I forgot.
Yeah, just so solid. He's acknowledging, like, we both sacrificed today. You showed your face. I maybe screwed us over by shooting an Imperial officer in the middle of an Imperial base, but
Everybody's got to sleep at night.
everyone's got to sleep at night. Yep.
And I wish Tuck was here because I know that he would love the anti-air cannons that are on top of the roof of the base. I know he'd be able to tell us what exact, World War II or World War I cannon they looked like. Probably
Yeah,
World War
for
II.
sure.
Editor Tuck, insert your comment.
Editor Doug. Oh, man. Well, really, the rest of the episode, I mean, there's still some important notes, but really the next section of this episode is just fighting their way out, killing lots of Imperials.
Which, of course, I love that part where Mayfield, they make their way onto the slave one, and he's like, hand me that cycler rifle. And Mando's just kind of like, okay, like, what's he going to do? Because there's nothing really for them to clear, especially with a non-scoped rifle.
Yeah.
And then you just see him aim at one of the Rhydonium shipments and take it out and blow up the whole factory, which is great. And then him turning around to say, we all need to sleep at night. And there's just no other lines there.
Yeah, and I'm really glad you brought up how the whole what's he gonna shoot at, because there's nothing really left. Finnick and Dune absolutely demolished the troopers on the outside.
Yeah, they're providing Overwatch.
They didn't really do a lot this episode, but just watching them destroy these Imperials was so satisfying.
They did wipe them out. Not as satisfying, though, as the moment with the ties, my friend.
Oh, I know. Absolutely phenomenal.
One of the top sounds in Star Wars, the seismic charge. And I just, in my own little headcanon of watching this episode today, as we see the seismic charge go off in the Slave One, kind of go up into the sky, in my head I was like, I wonder if Boba, sitting there in the chair alone to himself, went, we got him. Or Dad, didn't he say in in Attack of the Clones, didn't he say, Dad, we got him, or we got him, Dad?
Yeah.
After the seismic charge goes off whenever they're trying to take out Obi-Wan.
Now I'm just imagining like late 40s, early 50s, Boba Fett saying, we got him, Dad.
I know. So good. That was my own little headcanon today. I was like, I bet he said that.
Do you think he ever talks to the helmet like Kylo talks to Vader's helmet?
No. Boba's way
Let
cooler
me
than
finish
that.
what you started. Okay, current day Boba, I think you're right, would not. What about teenage, edgy Clone Wars Boba, though?
My least favorite Boba. Yes, probably.
Yeah. And then they land on the planet, and they have a final conversation with Mayfield where Kara is essentially just like, man, sure sucks Mayfield died.
Right, but there's that moment where you can, like, it almost plays like they're just about to shoot him here and leave him, like he's, outlived his usefulness. And
Right.
I think Mayfield was honestly kind of ready to go because he was like, I'm sorry things didn't go the way they did today. I had to make some peace with some things, but I'm ready to go back to the prison planet now.
It's 100% what the Empire would have done. They would have shot him. And that is his largest frame of reference.
For the most part, other than mercenaries and pirates.
Who also would probably shoot someone once they've served their usefulness.
Pirates. Makes me want more skeleton crew.
Yeah.
Makes me want some Jod.
That would be pretty nice. And, what was that droid's name? Shmi?
Yeah. 33?
SM33, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I think we've just got the final shot of the episode left.
Which was perfect because in the recap of this episode that I skipped through, but it played just enough to where they did it from from season 1. Whenever Moff tries to take Baby Yoda in the first season, of where he sends him the transmission, and he says, "You have something I want." And it's his whole speech. And then at the end of the episode where Mando contacts Gideon on his ship, he gives him the same speech, which I think was so good, you know, as far as like editing a show and everything. Because during the recap, I was like, why are they showing this? Like, I understand the whole deal has been to try to get Grogu back from the last episode, but I was like, this is season 1 stuff. I completely forgot that he does the speech at the end of this episode.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see how that all plays out next time we recover Mandalorian. Might be next week, might be next year. Who knows? Well, audience, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you want to be a part of this conversation, you can email us at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com. And if you could leave us a review wherever you're listening, that would be amazing. For the Animal Squadron, this has been MotherGoose.
And HouseDog.
Goodbye, everybody!
Goodbye, friends. Make sure you email our email with your death threats towards Tuck so he comes back. See you next week.